Let's get the read right now from Gordon and Reed's partner, Fox News legal analyst, Mercedes Colwin. My esteemed panelists will also be joining in on all of this. Mercedes, as a crackerjack lawyer,
good morning.
Would you worry if you were Elon Musk, if the SEC is saying, we've got to chat?
Oh, undoubtedly. I mean, so what we tell our clients is don't put your stream of consciousness and your musings when you're a top executive of a company, because the SEC, who's the financial watchdog, is always watching. And that's exactly what we're dealing with now. He put his musings out there. Elon Musk said, I have the private funds to bring this company private. And suddenly the SEC says, wait, we don't have to show intent, that you intended to manipulate the market. We don't have to show any of that. We are going to take your statement as fact. And now we want the information to substantiate the statement that you made. Because obviously we see already that the stock has been affected. And when you think Tesla, you immediately think Elon Musk. So
what is the difference between
the
a president who tweets says all sorts of things? He doesn't necessarily have to prove them. And the patriarch of a company like this. I mean, in this case, it's about going private. There's substantial financial issues involved. He seems to be telegraphing that he has the wherewithal to do it. Or maybe it's just stream of consciousness and nothing more, no criminal intent. Is that what the SEC is going to try to separate here?
That's a great question, Neil, because the SEC does not have to show intent. The fact that a CEO comes forward and makes a statement, they're going to take it as fact. Now, change it up a little bit and say, well, now the shareholders are saying, wait a minute, my stock was affected because of the statements that you made on Twitter. Well, now I'm going to bring a derivative suit. The shareholders have to show that there was intent to manipulate the market. So there's a big contrast between the two. And the SEC has a serious muscle. They have the power to bring significant penalties. They have the power to then make the referral to the DOJ and say you need criminal penalties on top of this because of what the CEO or the top executive said on Twitter or any other social medium.
So it could cut both ways, right, Jim Freeman? One of the things you could argue in this case, to Mercedes' point, all right, the stock was running up initially on the talk that he had financing available or could. And then it reverses when it turns out that he might have made a leap there. How does this get parsed?
How much of a leap was it? I think that's the big question. Was it a leap? I understand the subpoenas are in part because the SEC wants to get the cooperation of Saudi regulators to get to hear from the Saudis. And I guess I'm curious, Mercedes, what do the Saudis need to say to make Elon Musk's story work? In other words, is it okay for them to say, yeah, we were looking at it and we thought 420 is a reasonable price, maybe? Or do they need to say we committed guaranteed 100% for him to get away with this tweet?
That's a great question. So essentially, the Saudis have to come forward and say, we have had definitive conversation about coming forward and making the company private. Here are the emails. Here are the documents. At least have some sort of substantial confirmation that these discussions have been taking place, and it's corroborated somehow. It simply can't be that
What has to be corroborated? What has to be corroborated? The amount and the commitment that the Saudi sovereign funds, whoever it turns out to be, made, or just a promise that, yeah, we think we can put together some financing?
No, I think there has to be some showing of the due diligence. We're looking at the company. This is what the company is worth. This is what we are proposing. At least the initial discussion to talk about how much this company is worth and whether or not they're going to come forward and actually purchase the company. So there has to be some substantiation. It can't just be, we were just tossing about it between the two of us. And no, if Elon Musk is coming forward and making a statement that this company may go private and he's had some discussion with Saudi, it has to be shown that it's proven.
Marie, what do you think?
Well, I'd love to ask Mercedes what, if anything, you think was behind this strategy, if we can even call it that, by Elon Musk. Did he just, we've seen a lot of people get in trouble for a lot of reasons on Twitter. And do you think this is a case, Mercedes, where he just got Twitter happy? Or was there some strategy behind this trial balloon that he put out there on Twitter?
It's a great question, because when you think about some of the other tweets that have not risen to the level of seriousness as we have here, there was a prior tweet in which Elon Musk said, I don't like short sellers. So suddenly what does he do if he's already talking about individuals that held on to Tesla stock and sell it very quickly, and he's criticizing that?
Right.
Was there more of an intent, even though the SEC doesn't have to look at intent, was there more of a nefarious reason why Elon Musk set forward this tweet, as opposed to say, well, and he may dial it back and say, look, I was just thinking about it. We've had initial discussions. It's real. This is something that maybe I shouldn't have put out there, so it was premature of me. This is more of a musing or stream of consciousness. It really, but when you look at the entire picture, and the SEC will certainly start to look at some of the other tweets that he's made in the past, and certainly in the last year, he's talked about these short sellers, being critical of them. Then it starts to create a total picture of what it means, what he meant when he did that tweet.
Mercedes, does it matter whether a bid, and especially a bid at 420, ever actually happens, ever actually comes from the Saudis? Or is this all about what information was there at the time?
So it's a snapshot. The SEC is looking at the tweet in a snapshot. The tweet occurred. Was this market manipulation? We don't have to show intent. Is this a senior executive enough within the company to make there some sort of reaction? And we saw the reaction. I mean, there was a downturn to the stock, and as after following the tweet. So there is at least some showing of market manipulation, and whether or not that. It can now Elon Musk can substantiate and say, no, when I said it, I meant it, and this is the proof that there is this dialogue taking place, bringing the company private.
Mercedes, it's Lindsay Bell here. I just have a question. There was market manipulation, and it was the shorts that got hurt when the first tweet came out about this deal. And as much as a negative press as many shorts will get, it's a legitimate way to invest. What recourse will Elon Musk or Tesla have, if any, with regards to the market manipulation that did occur in reaction to this tweet from the SEC and in their investigation?
So any of the short sellers, if they come forward and bring a derivative suit, they can then demonstrate, if they can demonstrate that there was an intent to manipulate the market, and certainly that prior tweet where Elon Musk is criticizing the short sellers will come into play. So the shareholders that were affected do have the ability to bring a claim against Tesla and Elon Musk under a derivative suit.
Could we got to wrap things up here, but I don't tweet myself. I mean, I find the whole thing kind of weird. Like I had a cup of coffee today and a bagel. Great. But I don't disparage.
Starting my day with you guys is great.
I know. Well, my staff will tell you what's on the show and all that stuff. But I don't mean to demean those who do, or the guy in the White House who does it a lot, or Elon Musk and all. But time and again, I'm reminded how you can get yourself in trouble by an errant comment, something that could be interpreted a variety of ways. It's just not worth it. But time and again, I keep seeing this sort of stuff. And in this case, it could be a multi-billion-dollar boo-boo.
Oh, undoubtedly. And that's just, we're just talking the SEC. We're not even talking about what could, another fallout would be the derivative suits that could potentially come against the company. So yes, the fallout can be significant. It really is. Take a pause, drink your coffee, maybe pass on doing that tweet.
Yeah. By the way, I had egg whites on a toasted English muffin, if you really want to know.
Well, it's only 5 o'clock here in Chicago, so I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and tweet.
I tell you, though, politically, now you have Bob Mueller in the case of Donald Trump looking into all those tweets. And I'm telling you, is it really worth it to tell people, the whole world, what you're doing? Anyway, thank you very much, Mercedes.